Hi there, guys. It's Dan here with your weekly update. Just starting with the DAX here. So sort of last week we were looking for short side trades because we were red on the PTS, and some of them played okay. We were below sort of zero line on a storyteller, but we just couldn't quite get past this support here. So around the 14,000 mark, probably the sort of previous high here, acting as support, and the market's bounced. And always in stock markets and trading, you've got to be flexible and go with flow. Yesterday we had a confirmed green PTS on the charts here on the daily, and so the focus is now really to the long side again in stocks, but it's not the cleanest of trades. I think the term we'd like to use is a cautious bull. We'll go with this energy, we'll go with this with the flow of this up move, and to the long side and see where it takes us. But it's not sort of out of trouble really, the DAX. We have to look here at the weekly. If we just take a look, we're still red on the weekly, and any of this up move on the sort of daily chart is still pushing up into weekly resistance. So we just trapped a bit in between these sort of croc jaws, and the potential is for a bit of a reversal at some stage potentially. So that's why I'm remaining quite cautious. Bit of a cautious bull. Little bit of a interesting pattern here. Kind of head and shoulders, left shoulder here, a head, and then is this, when we get up to this sort of zone, the right shoulder? And that's often a bit of a reversal pattern. Don't know if it's going to play. Been keeping it really simple. If we do fail in the next few days and we turn red again, then we could get a reversal. But until then, we just follow the PTS. It's keeping us nice and safe. The minute we've turned green, we're out of the short side and we're looking at long side trades. That's the sort of DAX really. Keeping it really quite simple, but be quite interested in how the market reacts. Not far off where we are now, really, 14,500 as I sort of record this video, just to see what is the next, what's the next move. We've got some inflation figures out, and Bank of England and Bank of the Fed, all very hawkish, inflation. So we'll see. We were looking at and where we had this big sell-off before, and the moving averages really collected together like this. They're quite separated here, especially this 200 period moving average. It was sort of holding up, and so it doesn't surprise me that we've popped up here. And often after the Easter holidays, you do get that bit of a holiday rally, is a bit of a feel-good moment in the stock markets. They come back into sort of buying. So that's the DAX. Similar on the Dow. I mean, the Dow looks sort of stronger really than the DAX. Certainly on the daily here, we had a green PTS at the beginning of the week on Tuesday, and so now we're kind of trying to make a new high here. But again, I'm really quite interested in this same level here, bit of a double top. So for me, if I'm going to buy, I want the market to come down a bit and then rotate and turn potentially. But certainly it is green on PTS storyteller. We are in a very interesting place though, from the high before the kind of, we've had the big drop off. if I'm drawing a bit of a fib here, we're in this zone of reversal. So, and actually price is back up to where a band of resistance here. So it'll be interesting. Again, bullish, no problem with being bullish, following the momentum. Just wondering if it's a bit short-lived, back up to this 35,800 zone. Is that where this sort of stalls here in the Dow? And do we effectively do a bit of an ABC? Just get rid of that fib there. But yeah, effectively, this is a, then we have B, and essentially we, the rally fails and rolls over for a bigger move down. That's the potential. Don't know if it's going to happen, but yeah, cautious bull to the long side in the stock markets. We had quite interesting moves in the tech stocks in the Nasdaq, and Nasdaq's looking weaker than the others, certainly. But we do, daily hasn't turned green on the Nasdaq. And we broke this lovely trend line on the daily, turned red, PTS fired, and we're still sort of short side trades in that, really. And actually here, as the market kind of pushes up this last day or so, we're looking for probably a bounce off the resistance and maybe a continuation down here. Let's see. They like to travel together, all the stock markets. So bit cautious and just bit of patience, really, to see if this will turn over. And really, it was all about in the Nasdaq. It was all about Netflix that has sort of sent things down, and quite a lot of the streaming services, Disney, etc. I mean, this was a huge move. PTS doing a fantastic job here. This, if we see, I mean, we had a signal to short in Netflix back on the 6th of April. This was the news here. A week plus, almost 2 weeks later, and it's pushed down. So 25% dropped off their value, and they continue down. It doesn't look good for the streaming service here, Netflix. I mean, if you're a little bit so inclined, just go to the weekly chart. They're a good business, Netflix. It's just, where is the bottom? At some stage, it's probably going to be quite a good buy. They're not going away, are they, Netflix, really? But yeah, at the moment, their stock's being absolutely hammered. So interesting times for Netflix. Just want to go to crude oil then. Crude oil is looking long on the weekly charts. We're in a bit of consolidation here, and it's just trying to work itself through. We did have this sort of trend line, which I'll just draw again here, and you can see where we pushed above this trend line, broke out here, just come back down to test it. You see I had an alarm here to sort of take a trade, and we've just bounced. I think with crude oil, the potential is maybe for a bit more sort of sideways price action, and we could get some form of sort of triangle formation if we draw it out here like this. I'll just extend that one. Some form of triangle formation before we get maybe the real move and maybe the continuation up. So cautious. It's white on our PTS for the daily, which generally means no trade. The PTS is great for that. It tells you when not to take trades, but certainly still thinking from a weekly and a monthly perspective, bullish in our outlook. But yes, commodities have had a huge move up, and so we're just just waiting for the next kind of solid buy signal, I suppose, for any longer term move. Then we look at gold. Gold is in a bit of a similar place as well, really. Now it's turning red here today. It is quite a mixed chart, so a little bit no trade for me. You know, if we look at the weekly and more longer term view, it does look still pretty good to the upside. You know, if you're longer term, we had this sort of breakout from a triangle, turn green here, and no reason to think that it's not going to continue. You know, we had this big double top drop, which we discussed weeks ago, and it's come back down to support. And I'm certainly longer term still looking bullish. You know, monthly, weekly, it's looking good. Just that daily, really, we just need to wait for you know, new green buy. It would be nice if perhaps we have a bit of a sell-off and get into these levels again, and then we get a, you know, a better price. But kind of again, cautious bull, just waiting for the next sort of buy signal in gold. A little bit of loss of momentum in our sort of storyteller here, so yeah, that's why we're not kind of pushing up nicely, really. Then we just have a quick look at wheat, as we're on the sort of commodities. I think we looked at this last week. Another one that's you know, certainly bullish, and I think we spoke last week about you know, still being bullish up into these sort of zones, this 61.8, 76.4 sort of zone. You know, and that is the potential. I think any big kind of pullbacks, any pushes down could be buying opportunities still. Again, if I look at the weekly and the monthly, you know, it is still bullish. It's very toppy though on our storyteller. So you know, if I was to trade this longer term, then I'd probably want a better price. You know, I'd love it if it came down to here into the middle of the moving averages, and then look for new buys. So a little bit toppy up here, a little bit extended and separated out. So I'm looking for a better price, really. Then let's go to some of the Forex pairs. So we've got some strength in euro related pairs. You know, as you look at, well, it's a busy old chart. Been working on this market a lot. So as we look at this here, you know, we've had a really good sell-off. Again, we're just getting very mature down here in the move. And if we go to the daily here, we had, you know, what we call a bit of divergence, really. So a higher low in our storyteller, and that caused a nice rally in the last day or so. And we're turning green on the PTS. It's one of those where, you know, day trade it long, but just it's in such a big down mover. I think we're seeing some more strength in euro pairs, but is it sort of short-lived, really? Let's just check out some others. Euro yen was another one. You know, euro yen's, you know, completely the opposite way, isn't it? And continues to be strong, continues to push up here. So the against most of the pairs against the yens are, you know, very strong, but we are getting into a bit of an extension zone here up into these levels with a little bit of a kind of two wave on a storyteller. So we're due a bit of a pullback. You know, typically it would do something like this, little bit of an ABC down to maybe 13,800, but it is actually, you know, on the weekly and the monthly, this is really sort of breakout territory. It's very peaky here, so I wouldn't want to buy now. want to wait for a better price, nice pullback as that daily is suggesting. But you can see here, we've been in this big symmetrical triangle on the monthly, and we broke out, tested the trend line, and now we're, on our way again. And there's no reason to think that it can't get up to this almost 15,000 again. But I just want a better price on the daily. So that's the sort of euro, looking for more euro strength in some of those pairs. That's the weekly update, guys. I hope that's useful. Those are some of the things I'll be focusing on for the rest of the week. Have a good rest of your day.